Looking at the crude oil future here, right now, essentially it is up at this edge here of this zone, and that's basically, it is somewhere around $65 area, 64.79, 64.75 area. So right now, I'm basically looking to see would it be able to come above the zone and tag this 65.74 before it come back into the zone and maybe work itself back down to this area here, somewhere around 61.50. Or if it just come back in and essentially come back down to look for support at this 61.50. So the resistance that I'll be looking at for the coming week will be 65.74 and somewhere around 61.50 on the potential support there. Looking at gold, and this is the 1280 mark that I've been watching for quite a while now, because I want to see would it be able to come back down here, break through this 1280, and then get a bounce off of that, then be looking for a possible long to see would it be able to take itself back up to this 1323 and break through it, and then make itself up to this 1350. Then if it doesn't, as it come down, break through, then we're basically looking for this thing to come back in to this area here initially, basically below the 1256, then possibly get back into this zone here. But right now, I'm basically still watching for this 1280. Looking at the Dow Jones Transportation, this weekly chart here, you can see the Dow Jones Transportation is making its way up to this 10,977. And that basically would be the resistance I'll be watching for next week to see would it be able to get above that. And if it could, then we're basically looking for the possibility of inching itself up toward this all-time high. But if I'm resistant and begin to pull back, then I'll be looking for this, at least coming back down to this area here, which would be somewhere around the 10,690, 10,670 area at this pivot high, to see would it be able to find some support there to get a temporary lift, and then have it push up again for the 10,977. Dow Jones Industrial, the Dow Jones Industrial got above the 26,223, 500 point or so from the all-time high at up here at 26,945.53. So see would it be able to continue to hold above this 26,223 and make its way up toward the 26,945. Otherwise, be looking at this thing and pulling back. And if it come up, back test it, if I'm resistant at 2622, 26,223, if I'm resistant at that level, then we'll be basically looking forward to come back down and possibly retest the 25,439. The S&P 500, it is getting very close to this all-time high here. It just one-time framing straight up pretty much, and it got above this 20x64. So if I were to watch the level, if it can continue to march toward the all-time high and start pulling back, then the first level to watch is this 20x64 and see would it be able to hold above it. If it can't, then essentially coming down to this 2795. And the NASDAQ 100 is pretty much there, right, near the all-time high. That would be the level to watch next week, is essentially this all-time high level at 7,700.56. So that's the level to watch for the all-time high, 7,700.56. And if this thing kind of gets stalled out, pull back, look for the 7,400.99 potential support as a first level potential support. If it can't hold, then we're basically looking at 7,308 coming back down. And the Russell 2000, you look at the Russell 2000, it's trying to get it back above this 1592 and then maybe work itself above the 1611 to try to set itself up to get a bounce off to toward the all-time high. But right now it's still pretty distant away from the all-time high, so the best it probably could do is maybe come up to this 1611 and then chop around and try to make itself toward the all-time high in the coming week. But if it failed to get above the 1611, that'd be basically looking for this thing to come back down toward the 1524 and the 1487 for potential support there. Look at the diamond, the ETF for the Dow Jones Industrial. You can see that it's trying to get up to this pivot high here near the 265. If you could take out this 265, then essentially I'm looking for this thing to possibly come up to this area here, somewhere around the 268. Right, this area here at the 268. If it's unable to hold about this 265 and come back in, then I will look for the 262 and possibly down right beneath this here, somewhere around 261 for potential support here to see could it get another bounce back up. And for the SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500, it is still staying above this channel here, inside this channel above the lower trend line. And right now there's a low volume zone here that it seems to be hitting. Right, so we'll see would it be come back down to that zone and maybe possibly come back in and test this area here. Right, so this probably the 287 area. Basically looking for that as a first initial support, and if that can hold, basically looking for it to come back down to 285.50. And for the QQQ, the ETF for the NASDAQ 100, you can see that it is getting very close to the all-time high. So we'll be basically watching to see would it be able to continue to move up. And if it can't, if it pull back underneath the 185.22, then I'll be looking at this area here for potential initial support. And also that would be in confluence with the trend line here somewhat. So this level is somewhere around 182.70. ETF for the Russell 2000, it is getting up here to this composite value area high, and we'll see would it be able to come back up to this 160.11, basically taking out of this this pivot high here, right near the 160 area. And if we could take out that 160, then we're probably looking for this thing maybe work itself up to that 162.26. But if it can't stay above that, or it won't be able to get in, even get above that, then looking for this thing to pull back into the zone here at this 156.12. Essentially, I'd probably be looking at this 155 area for potential support, initial support here, and to see will we see a bounce off of that level at 155 next week. Facebook came up to this upper zone here, this edge here. Essentially, it came up to this pivot level here. So right now, basically watching to see we'll be able to break about this 179 and move toward the 188 up at the next pivot high area. If it unable to get above this this area and pull back, then I'll be looking at this 174.98, essentially this 175 area, right at this here for the initial support to see would it be able to find some support and bounce back up. If it can't, then essentially I'm looking for the next potential support down at this 160.50 area. Looking at Apple, made it above this zone here. Got above that zone, took out the 199.85, extended, went up to over $200 and then pulled back. So right now it's still sitting above this zone here. So we're going to see would it be able to make another move toward the 200 and get above that 200 into this 210, 212 area. This potential resistance here, essentially up at this area. So we want to see would it be able to get back above the 200, And if it can't, then essentially I'm looking for this thing to pull back to that 184.94 or somewhere around this 195 area for the next potential bounce. And essentially, coming down to this price channel and check the price channel for potential support. Here on Amazon, it getting close to this 1865 resistance here, potential resistance. It did, book above this pivot high here. So right now it's sitting above that. So we're going to see would it be able to take out this 1865. If it's unable to take out this 1865, I'm looking for this thing to pull back to this 1736.41 area. There could be a little bit of a support here near the 1795. So that could be another level to keep an eye on for the coming week to see maybe that will provide a little bit bounce and push that back up. But if it doesn't, then basically looking for this 1736. And Netflix, you saw this came down here and found support, and it got a nice bounce, and it did not get back up above this. So essentially putting in a lower high, and you see that also another lower high. Even yesterday was trying to get up, and thought they might have found some support here. But you see today, after the Disney announcement about the streaming service that really clobber Netflix. Now Netflix is also due for reporting earning next Tuesday, I believe, on the 16th. So that could put some volatility in this guy too. So you kind of watch this level here to see would it break down, and then probably will chop around here until earning. And then gotta be careful, earning could take this thing down to 298.72, or it could push it back up and maybe work itself way back up to the 420 mark here. So gotta watch that. Essentially, in the earning will basically probably will likely be tagging somewhere around here. I haven't looked at the option pricing yet to see what the market is pricing in for the earning move, but just looking at this price action, that's probably where they might be targeting this thing, plus or minus $30 maybe, who knows, right? So we'll see. We'll get a closer look on that on Monday. And here's Google. Google came up, took out this pivot high here, right? So right now it's sitting at this 1222.73 area. If it could continue to sit above that, then basically looking for this thing to move up to possibly somewhere around the 1240, right, to test this pivot high and even possibly take out this pivot high. But if it cannot maintain above this 1222.73 area, then basically looking for this thing to come back toward the lower level of this price channel, and possibly somewhere around this 1200, 1198 area, to see would it be able to find some support here and then get another bounce. If it's not, if you can't find a support at this level, then essentially looking for this thing to come down to the lower edge of this particular zone here. That would be somewhere around 1170, 1165 area.